everyone, Mrs Bavington here. I'm going to read you a story from one of the books I was given when I was young. The story is called The Story of Benjamin B. It's from a set called Hedgerow's Tales, and it was retold by Pat Wayne-Jones and illustrated by Sandra Ferdinands. She is a fantastic illustrator. If you want to read along with me, you can, or have a look at the drawings. Benjamin was a happy working bee. He enjoyed collecting honey from the flowers and taking it back to the hive. He liked being busy. One lovely sunny morning, the sun was shining so brightly and the air felt so warm that he left the hive and flew a long, long distance. He came to a garden where the flowers were very beautiful and sweet with nectar. He worked hard among the hollyhocks and Canterbury bells, and soon he had his honey sacks full. As he was carefully backing out of a foxglove bell, he overheard two grasshoppers talking. He soon realised they were making remarks about him. "Look at that worker bee slaving away," said one of them. "He must be stupid to work so hard." The other one, "The queen bee just lies at home doing nothing. Why doesn't he try staying at home?" Benji was surprised. He'd never thought of that before. He'd never envied the queen. He was happy. So why shouldn't he do the work he enjoyed? "Nobody," twittered the first grasshopper, jumping up and down. "Nobody," he sang, leaping high in the air. "Nobody sensible would work when they could spend their days singing and playing as we do." "That's funny," thought Benji anxiously. "Perhaps I'm peculiar. I hope there's nothing wrong with me. I really do enjoy my work." "He must be stupid." "He must be unhappy." Tra-la-la. The grasshoppers squeaked and jiggled and aggravatedly danced. And as Benji emerged from the foxglove, they shouted rude things at him. "Stupid, am I?" thought poor Benji. "Just because I love flying from flower to flower in the sun instead of doing nothing all day? And am I unhappy?" Benji could still not shake off the horrid feeling that the grasshoppers had given him. Maybe he was happy, but they had also called him stupid. Was he stupid? So he flew about until he found some of his friends. They gathered among the brilliant orange and gold nasturtium flowers and told them the whole story. When he had finished, there was a confused buzzing, and each bee tried to express an opinion. They made so much noise that they woke the aged relations. He flew up just in time to hear one of them squeaking. "All bees should be queens," said the bee, and a great cheer went up. "Bzzz," murmured the aged relations. "What would be the fun of being a queen if there was no working bees waiting on you?" "Then we should all be drones," suggested another bee. "Bzzz. And who make the honey and wax and build the honeycombs and nurse the children?" "Maybe all bees should be worker bees?" asked a small puzzled bee in a small puzzled voice. "And would that help you?" asked the aged relation. "Bzzz. It seems to me that you are worker bees already, and anyway," bzzz, buzzed, tired of the chattering. The argument had stirred up a lot of bad feeling and discontent. None of them wanted to go collecting, although the sun was still high. Then Benji had a bright idea. "Let's go off and start a hive on our own," he said, "where each one does anything he pleases. We'll all be alike and equal." Then he thought for a moment and added, "Oh, but I'll be the leader." So it was agreed, and off they flew, Benji in the lead. But while he was trying to decide where to settle for their hive, the others flew on past him. "Hi, come back," he shouted. "I'm your leader." You're not a real leader, one of the big ones jeered over his shoulder. You're not a queen. You don't know where to choose for a hive, nor where to swarm properly. Where shall we swarm? Asked the small, puzzled bee nervously. A garden, of course, bzzz, buzzed one. A field, zzz, said another. There is nothing like a good hollow tree, remarked a third. Zzz. The roof or an outhouse is best, zzz, thought the fourth. A branch of a tree, cried the fifth, and they all shouted, My idea's the best. I won't give way to anybody, bzzz. I'm very angry with you, buzzed Benji. Half the day's gone already, and here we are, just as unsettled as we were when we started out. I'm your leader, do as I say. You're not a leader. We're all alike, we're all leaders, they shouted and zzz, buzzed so fiercely that Benji decided to leave them. Benji flew off sadly. He flew a long way till he came to a beautiful garden, and as he flew among the foxgloves and hollyhocks and country bells, gradually felt himself becoming happier and happier. He began to fill up his honey sacks and enjoyed the scent of the flowers. This is how I am happiest, he thought. It's funny, but I really do enjoy my work. As the sun began to go down, he turned back to the hive, pleased with his heavy load. To his surprise, on the way home, he began to meet his friends returning in twos and threes. They had quarrelled themselves tired, found nowhere to go, and now seemed glad to be going back to their own familiar hive. But as they arrived, they came back to a dreadful scene. A terrible commotion was going on inside the hive. As Benji watched, he saw a strange and fearful sight. A procession was emerging from the hive, drawing the body of the queen. The queen is dead, they cried. How did it happen? Benji asked the aged relations, who were flown to his side. Zzz. Some of the cell keepers were off with you and your friends, and while they were away, young Queen Bee burst through her cell, which they should have been guarding. Zzz. Of course, the two queens fought until one fell dead. The old queen was weak and was killed. Now there will have to be a new hive, you see. Zzz. Even queens are not equal. What a terrible thing, gasped Benji. It wouldn't have happened if we'd not flown away today. Zzz. True. You see how important it is that each bee should do the task he is fitted for, young bee. If not, the whole hive fails. Bees may have different work to do, but each one is important. Zzz. I do, AD relations, and I may not be a leader, but I do know how to collect honey. I'm off. And Benji zoomed off into the bright summer air. The end. Here are a few of the other stories from the Hedgerow Tales, which I may read another day.